Okay. Am I all alive? Am I all alive? Anyway. Defunding the police is all beyond lawless. It is satanic. It is without law and order. It is evil. And without the government and the police, without law and order, there's chaos. And if you think that Black Lives Matter is really a good thing, then think again. Everyone's life matter because we're all the same skin color. Black and white lives matter because we're all human beings. Black people are human beings. White people are human beings. We all have the different skin color, and we're all human beings. We're created by God in His own image. I don't want you to think that defunding the police and Black Lives Matter is what you call. I don't want you to be offended by me saying that defunding the police and calling Black Lives Matter fraud is a bad thing, because it is a bad thing. Because I don't want you to be offended, because what you guys are doing is not right. Matter of fact, if we put it in one race only causes lawlessness, racism, and so on. It's a part of the agenda that Satan uses for his people and his select people. It is lawless, beyond lawless. So you think you can defund the police and get away with it? What about those who call 911 because it's not violent? Okay, so you say it's not violent, and they're just arguing. Well, the argument will turn into violence. And then they'll get into huge, serious trouble. If anyone has a weapon, including a knife, someone could actually die because they said, "Oh, he doesn't. It doesn't matter to him." It could matter. I have a lady downstairs. Not going to say her name. Not going to say who she is, not what she has, or anything like that. But we constantly call the police because she runs away. And she runs away because she gets aggravated, and she runs away with a butter knife. And may sound not so, crazy right now. However, when she gets crazy like that, she could hurt herself. She could hurt others. And she has the capability, when she runs away, of hurting people in other houses. She could be running away, and then so happens to be she runs away and then gets lost, and no one finds her because no one was able to call the police. I don't know what defunding the police will do in no violent terms, but just running away means, there's nothing problem to them in whatever state they are in. She could go all the way to New York and then end up getting herself killed by a gang member or wherever not. So if there's a murder, it's because they did not call the police, because they're afraid that defunding the police would have them not be involved into a certain case, because all 911 calls can be a good thing. It is not all of them are a good thing, but they can be a good thing, because if someone didn't call 911, a person that ran away, and they say it's non-violent, that person could die, like I said. So if it's a missing person case, maybe it's non-violence. Well, let's just say that missing person, I don't know, he's all the way across America. She is. They could have already boarded a bus all the way across America. And next thing you know, you're looking for that person, and you can never find your person in the rest of your life, or whether it's a child or anyone that is like that. If you're calling the police that your child is missing, like 4-year-old, 7-year-old, whoever it is, and the policemen are used to that child running away because he or she is autistic, they might think, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to find that child yourself." except maybe this time they don't find her again because they couldn't call the police. That sort of thing. It's me ranting on about a situation that's bad. And I know of a person, like I said, that could be a cause of a problem, a cause of not panic, but a problem. What about people with dementia? Well, they're important, right? Now, if it's violent, right? Wrong. They are important, whether it's violent or not. You think a missing person is violent? Well, then you're wrong. So just to get the point across, I've worked at places where people have dementia. I've done that one job before. And people have had dementia in my workplace. And very rarely do we have them escape, but once, I would say every year, a person would escape that place and we'd all have to find them. Almost never do we have a person completely escape and then they're never found. Well, if that situation happens, if we can ever find that person again, we have to call the police. But what if we cannot find them because of other situations? What if we cannot find that person because the police said it was not important enough? Think about these things. This is pure evil. Not only is it against law and order, but however, if there's less policemen around, what about the major situations like, like mass shootings where like a couple people are involved? And what about if they have a mass shooting, instead of having a machine gun, let's say one person has, like a Uzi, and another person gets away with a maximum, like let's say a minigun. I'm just getting a really bad scenario to help you guys understand that maybe the police cannot actually support themselves, and they'll have to call the military. What if they don't have enough military? So that's serious, right? And then we have a huge mass casualty. Like, 1,000 people die. That's serious. And there are those that call 911 for medical emergencies. Like maybe someone has diabetes and, they call 911 because they have a medical emergency. That's not part of the police, but, let's say they have a medical emergency and they have seizures and then they get violent. Well, they might be confused with, this person is violent because he has seizures, but, you might be seeing in another world. But, it's things like that. Because if they become because medical emergency, police emergency, so they're going to have to go to the medical system. And let's say the policemen are less, so the police are somewhere else, and then they don't have a stronghold for, let's say, not a stronghold, but they don't have a strongman, just in case things go bad. But it's just a seizure, right? Okay. What if a person's calling 911 because they realize they have low blood sugar and they're not so specific enough about the low blood sugar? What if they accidentally misdial the person to no one important because, defunding the police is also defunding the firemen, and also, let's say, less people in the ambulance field are getting the calls from 911 because it's confused. The person says, I have low blood sugar, okay. So you have low blood sugar, okay, then go to the doctor's room. But instead, they had serious low blood sugar problem where they basically took some of the insulin, what they added. They added too much insulin to the body. Maybe they had an insulin malfunction, things like that. And they said, I have low blood sugar because they're confused. And the person thought he was calling 911 for emergency, and they said, do you have low blood sugar? It's nothing important, he said. and the person then ends up dying. And who's to blame? The person who answered the 911 call is to blame. So then they pay them higher wages, but then there's less of them because a lot of them are getting fired because they're hanging up the 911 calls on the emergency dispatch. Guys, America is falling apart. Do you see that? Do you not see what's going on in America? And not only are we defunding the police, we're also defunding the military, meaning we cannot protect ourselves from a terrorist attack. Let's say there's a terrorist military going in this America from all kinds of countries. Let's say Russia, China, Iran, and even Turkey. Yes, we will not be able to protect ourselves from nuclear arms because we are defunding the police. Not only that, if it's not violent, then, okay, even worse, there will be prostitutes everywhere, and they'll not be able to arrest people because of prostitutes getting away with everything because no one's calling the police on them. So what about that? People won't be on the streets. I would say maybe we'll see people getting naked on the streets, going to the bathroom on the streets, and getting away with it without the. And they don't. And if they see the police cars, and they'll just hide it, you know. And they'll probably have to call the police on a drug case, but no, they're not going to call the police on a random case where a person gets naked. No. They're just going to get away with it, like California, you know? We're becoming the new California guys. We truly are. This is Lawless. And my shirt says Revelation 5. You know what it says, right? Chapter 1 is all about Jesus. Chapter 2 is all about the church. Chapter 3 is about the church. Chapter 4 is about, you know? I think it's about 4. Hold on. I think chapter 4 is about, I think chapter 4 is about the songs that they're singing to Jesus, and then chapter 5 is about the end times. It's something like that, you know. Let me read this. For the line of Judah has triumphed. So it's all about the line of Judah has triumphed, if you have read it, right? Do you get this? Without police system that is for nonviolent 911 calls, there cannot be an actual system of law. So nonviolent is sexual. Nonviolent is living in other people's houses and they're not fighting. Nonviolent is homeless person going in a building where they shouldn't be. Nonviolent is, forgery. Nonviolent is all that type of stuff. And nonviolent is also, even then, nonviolent is also credit card theft. Did you know that? Are you getting my point? This world is infuriating God right now. And unfortunately, this lawlessness is going to get to the point where it's going to get, where people are going to literally become so lawless that every thought in their head is against God. It truly is. Right now, every thought in the protests and defund the police, Black Lives Matter, it's continually against God. Right now, all of that is continually against God. America has fallen because we're defending the police. We are divided to the point of defending the police. Even the president is going against Black people. He's calling them criminals. He's calling the people that are in the protests, all of them criminals. Not all of them are. As we saw that old elderly Black man, just saying that color, he had a different skin color, and he was kind of walking away from the police. I don't know. He was just confused, maybe. Maybe it was just whatever. And he was shoved by the police. It's not like I'm blaming the police for this, There's some bad ones out there, but then if you really make a policeman angry like everyone else, there's going to be a problem. I think the policemen are having a lot of stress time in their hands. The police are very stressed out right now. And now they're being even more stressed out because they're defunding the police. And news sites like CNN and every other site, let's say MSNBC and Fox News, except for one site, they're saying, these actions are causing people to blame the police. So let's say they go and against all of the actions of the police, they just, quite literally going against the police in every single way of their action. Like one action, then goes to the next. Like a very rare action is terrible. So if we defund the police, which I believe we may have, we will have a brink of insanity in America. Unsecure America, unsafe America, unfree America, and a war zone America, as well as China America. Like America will become like China. Like if you are for God, you will be arrested. That's what's coming up next. Once the rapture happens, it will be illegal to be a Christian. They call you like ancients, They call the ancient believer. They'll call you, I don't know, what do you call that word? Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff, They'll call you fake believer, or maybe, fairy tale believer, They'll call you a fairy tale person, and they'll arrest you for that because they call you fairy tale person, fake, fraud, anything they will arrest you by. And they'll either cut off your head or burn you. They'll possibly burn you alive. Because in the Bible it does say, I believe, that don't worry about being burned on earth, as it says, even if all your hairs got burned off, they'll still make it to heaven. So that means don't worry about anyone burning all of your hairs off, because anyone that is on earth being burned alive, they'll have to go through all this pain. Then they'll make it to heaven for the fact that they do not accept the mark of the beast. So for right now, back in BC times, it's believing in God and not choosing other nations. It's all about Israel. Then now it's all about all nations. So now so when Christ died and risen from the dead, it was either choosing Jesus or nothing, which is the devil. In the future, you'll either choose not the mark or you'll choose a mark. And that's it. Because this nation is without law. This nation is without work. This nation is without care. This nation is lawless. This nation is fallen. I'll be done, okay? Bye.